Well, you may celebrate milestone birthdays in a special way, but our guest this evening will explain why she considers age 33 to be an important one. We welcome back friend of the show, Mari Pablo, to discuss how she's been celebrating what she calls her Jesus year. Mari is a Catholic speaker and veteran youth minister and currently serves parishes and universities across the country with the Evangelical Catholic. She's also featured in many projects from Ascension Press, including their programs on theology of the body for teens, Catholic social teaching, and many more. Welcome back to the Busted Halo Show, Mari Pablo. How are you?
Thanks for having me, Father. It's good to be back. Good to
Now,
be here.
where are you located? I forget, Mari.
I'm in Miami, Florida.
It's
the only city that has a country in it. It's amazing.
What country does it have in it?
It's a mixture of all the countries. We have little Cuba, little Dominican Republic, little Haiti. I live in little Venezuela. It's a very interesting place, and I love it. Very
nice.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into your Jesus year, how are things going with the Evangelical Catholic?
Things are going good. I'm the consultant for the Archdiocese Military Services, and I just got back from Japan, speaking at the naval base there in Yokosuka, Japan, and it was pretty incredible. So still processing that. Yeah.
So you were speaking to military young men and women, I assume, military
from the Navy.
Yeah. In the Navy. All right. What do they want to know about?
It was, we just spoke about, so a lot of them are actually going through the 12 weeks of evangelization. And so it's kind of like how to evangelize within being in the Naval Academy. And how to evangelize when you're on, 6 months in a giant ship on the water. So it was incredible. And it really made me appreciate people in the military so much more. So very grateful for that.
Had you been to Japan before?
Never. And it was incredible. Like? Food is amazing. It's so clean. The kids literally go around by themselves and they're not scared of getting kidnapped, and their toilets are just incredible. I don't even know what to tell you.
The toilets. Now, I've heard about the toilet. Brett Siddell's a big fan of the Japanese toilet.
I did not see this interview going here. But I gotta say, I'm thrilled it has. I won't belabor it.
Listen.
I'll just say it quickly. The bidets are fantastic, but in Japan they've got it's like a whole world.
I closed the door in the bathroom for the first time in the airport, and like waterfall sounds started playing, and I was like, I'm sorry, what is going on right now? Am I in a spa? Like
the deluxe one's like a spa. That's what I was gonna say. It's got air and it's got music and it's got lights. It's like a whole show.
It has way too many buttons. I was scared to press them, but it was impressive.
That is true. But we are on the Catholic channel, so we can go back to
going back to Jesus year.
I do agree with you. The other thing about Japan, the culture is kind of built around. You kind of mentioned this quickly with the kids thing, because I do know about that. It's probably one of the best trips ever. Their goal is to have you be happy. That's like, in a nutshell. It's more complicated than that, but like they're making sure travelers in particular are like, but just people in general, like, you're good. That's why it's very like polite and very like clean and very like, are you being served well? I thought that was really kind of an amazing part of it as well.
It was awesome.
It almost sounds like, not necessarily to make descriptions of the demographic religious makeup of the country, but it sounds like the ideal Christian community. That's the idea. We're supposed to be like about other people and making sure that other people are not just about me.
Yeah, which is crazy. Japan actually only has 2% Catholicism there, which I was like, wow. I was so excited to see a Catholic church, and I got to visit a Japanese convent, and that was amazing. And the sisters were adorable. But besides that, it was great.
So Mari Pablo is our guest here in the Busted Halo Show, and almost a year ago, on July 29th, so about 11 months ago, Mari, you turned 33 years old on the feast of Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. Now,
I got an upgrade 2 years ago. Thank you,
you guys, as many people do, and I remember calling it this when I celebrated that year. You call this our Jesus year. That's the year that we believe, as far as we can calculate age and all that Jesus died on the cross for our sins. He was 33 years old, and you're 33. How far in advance did you say, I want to make this a special year? Had you been planning it, or did you like have the birthday and go, wait a minute, we got to do something special here?
On my 29th birthday was my golden birthday, and I threw a massive party, and everything was gold.
It's the same day or something?
Oh, so yeah, I turned 29 on the 29th. So that was my golden year. I threw a massive party, rented a place, wore a golden dress. Everything was shiny.
Golden dress?
Yeah, I went like super extra, right? And then I looked, I was like, what's going to be my next shebang, you know? And I thought 33, it has to be 33. So I've been planning it for 4 years. So I've been talking about my Jesus year. I've been telling people about my Jesus year. I was like, listen, on my 33rd birthday, we're throwing a massive party. Everyone's coming dressed like biblical characters from the New Testament, but you're not going to be Jesus or Mary because that's borderline heretical, right? And
Well,
you're going to,
you know, that's more for you, but okay. Yeah.
yeah. No, like you're going to look at the scriptures and you're going to get super creative. I literally got like a giant backdrop of Jerusalem, and all the snacks looked like vacation Bible school status for adults. And we had a giant pitcher of water and a giant pitcher of wine, and we walked on water, and everyone had glow sticks because we're the light of the world.
Well, what do you mean?
It got, let me tell you, Father. So first of all, like I was really big on no one can enter if they're not in costume. So I borrowed from the living stations from my church. So if someone came in, like I was like, don't worry, I got you covered. Like you need to wear something though. Then you entered.
Which is also just on that one note, and you understand this, you study the New Testament well. That's like that story where the wedding garment, like the guy who shows up at a wedding without the proper garment, typically what they would do is they would have one for you. And so you did that. It was very New Testament hospitality of you.
Exactly. Thank you very much. And then I was dressed like Martha, but my birthday got upgraded 2 years ago. So it was Martha with a little bit of Mary. So I would sit at people's feet to listen to them. And then I had like a little bandage for Lazarus when he came out of the tomb. So I was like a 3-in-1, you know? And
while the feast day is all three, it doesn't sound off-brand that the person who plans her birthday party for 4 years went as Martha. I think that sounds right.
You know, I will say, like, so two things. This started off kind of like as a joke at first, but then as it got closer, I was getting so, guys, like I'm so excited about my Jesus year. It's like this has been the greatest thing ever. And on the actual day, like my meditations on Martha all year have been super beautiful and super intense. And like I've been having deep reflections on Martha like I've never had before. And on the day of my birthday, I woke up and I was like, it's my Jesus year. Like this is amazing. But what started off as like, funny, it became, I had like a massive desire for holiness and a massive desire to be closer to the Lord and spend time in adoration. So I actually, not only I did Jesus' birthday, but I'm aiming to spend, I've failed multiple times, but 33 minutes of prayer every single day. And for Advent this year, I did 33 minutes of adoration every single day, and I did complete that the whole time. So in other
it's
words, like,
while your 29th birthday was mostly just the birthday, for this one, you really put into practice some things throughout the entire year.
The whole year. So the party, like, yes, we walked on water. I made sure it was at my friend's house that had a pool. I'm going there. I'm going back. So we had 3 levels. I had one level that was just like a giant piece of wood that was actually kind of thin, and one of my friends totally almost ate it, but she didn't. It's fine. Second level was like a piece of wood that went across like this, like in the corner, and I put in spray paint like Trust Jesus. And then the third level, I had my paddle board that you would like hop on the paddle board and just like paddle across. So that was my 3 levels. And then throughout the year, and of course we had fireworks because fire is awesome. And then
that was a lot like Jesus's birthday, I think.
It was.
There's a lot of fireworks there.
You also could have said, well, of course we had fireworks because it's Florida. I mean, you know.
Oh, right. No, but yeah, but no, we just, yeah. And then the thing that I've been doing all year is I have a list of 33 creative things that Jesus did that I'm completing throughout my 33.
Creative things. Okay, such as?
So for example, like obviously fishing, right? That's duh. Like I went fishing. I actually just caught a fish 2 nights ago. Thank you very much. I caught a 14-inch. I was very excited about it. Okay, great. But like axe throwing, because he's a carpenter and I'm sure he went axe throwing or like did stuff. I'm sure he had to get an axe to like, break down the trees, right?
Sure, he went axe throwing was a great sentence there.
I don't know if he was at a bar with peanuts on the floor.
I'm sure he went axe. He's sure too.
If he's a carpenter in that century, I mean, there's not much else to do. You had to have thrown an axe at some point in your life.
I'm having a fun time picturing it. I like how certain you are that he has thrown axes.
For sure.
Okay.
One of my favorites on my list. I want to make sushi to multiply the fish. Get it?
I do
Why
like
is that
one.
multiply? You cut them up.
Okay.
Just a lot of sushi.
Okay,
I
fine.
guess.
It's kind of like you're cutting it up, but I don't know how else to multiply it. So yeah, you just get one
Okay.
thing and you multiply fish. And then I went into a cave, and that was a really big thing because he descended into hell.
Right.
So he must have like gone down, right? So that
Sure.
was my cave diving. And
Well,
then
tell us
honestly,
about let's go into more of these. What's the cave diving? What do you mean? You spelunked?
yeah, well, I didn't go spelunking, but yeah, pretty much. I didn't know this. Did you guys know Missouri has like over 200 caves? I missed that memo.
I missed it also.
I
now
had
we know
no
it. This
idea.
is good.
So I
Jesus
went
axe throwing, and Missouri has underwater caves. You learn a lot of things every day.
A lot of things. So I went into this cave that was
Wait,
massive.
so you're in Miami. You're like, let's see, it's my Jesus year. I'll go to Missouri to do
Well,
some spelunking.
Okay. Jesus is great, and I travel a lot for speaking. So I just started, whenever I travel, I started looking up like, what can I do around here that goes in my Jesus year, right?
She does a lot of traveling because she's very popular Catholic speaker. Mari Pablo is our guest here on the Busted Halo Show. You can check her out at the Evangelical Catholic. A lot of materials from Ascension Press feature Mari. As you can tell, she's very dynamic, interesting. All right, so you had all this creative list.
I'm still working on it.
At first I thought it was a creative list of things Jesus did. These are like Jesus-related things.
Yes.
Let's call them. Okay.
Yes.
What
yes.
else? What else is on the list?
Well, Jesus wept, so I made sure I cried.
That's in there. The axe throwing was a bit of a stretch. Jesus wept is that one you got.
We can confirm.
And
Yes,
of course,
we got that
one of the best things I did this year, which God is so good, and I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. I finally went to the Holy Land. So that was
nice.
like,
oh wow,
best of the best. My family is Dominican, but we're also Palestinian. I'm actually more Palestinian than Dominican. My
wow.
grandfather was raised in Bethlehem, and so I was extremely excited to go to the Holy Land. I had never been. I was supposed to go in 2020, and COVID ruined all my plans.
You're not the only one, just in case you're wondering.
Yeah, I know. So it was incredible. So that was like to go in my Jesus year to the Holy Land and literally walk his steps and do all the things was like.
Was that with a group or how'd you do that?
Yeah, I went with my parish and it was awesome.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It was so good.
Because the whole parish is going, it's a big deal for everybody. Were they aware of your particular?
No, I don't. I mean, like, did I talk about my Jesus year? Yes, of course.
Yeah, okay, that's what.
By the end of the trip, most people had seen the pictures and knew what was going on. So epic,
because a lot of people who listen to the show have not been to the Holy Land. A lot of Catholics, a lot of Christians around the world, and down through 2 millennia had not walked in the steps that Jesus did. For you, though, what was? I know it's hard to narrow down to like one favorite, but what was like a powerful moment that you recall?
2 powerful moments. I'll go for 2. The Annunciation side of the Annunciation was like way more than I thought. Way. Yeah. I was sobbing and I wasn't sure what was going on. That same thing happened. I was very excited. Upper room. Everyone was like, it's not that exciting. Like, it's just a room. There's like, no one knows who it is. There's no images. It's not prayerful. Right. But I was like, yeah, but that's the thing. Like, at the time of Jesus, it was just a room. And like our faith started here, and Pentecost happened here, and the Eucharist happened here. And I just sat in a corner and I couldn't, I sang happy birthday to the church because that's where Pentecost, it's the birthday of the church. And I just couldn't believe what was happening. And so those 2 moments were huge. And specifically Holy Sepulchre, they have this, the rock of the anointing. Yep. So right when you walk in, it's in between where he was crucified and where he resurrected. There's just have the giant slab. And, when you get closer to it, you realize that it smells like nard. Mm-hmm. And one of the things in my Jesus list is to break an expensive bottle of perfume from the anointing. And
so in one of the gospel accounts, it is Mary Magdalene who is anointing his feet, and then Judas gets all upset. What are you using that expensive stuff? We should save that, or we should sell that, or give that to the poor. It would be what typically, after somebody dies, what they would anoint the body with, but she did it while he was still alive, and his feet, which get dirty right away. So so you want, that's one of your things on the list. Let me just,
that was one of the things on my list.
Ode to Chanel, or whatever that new one is that Timothy Chalamet is all over the billboard.
And I was going to break it.
Smash it down.
Yes. I was
Oh,
gonna
not
do
too
that.
expensive. Jeez.
Not
all right.
yeah, not that I know, but what
All
the
right, go
really
for the
cool thing.
ScarJo one then. I think that's a little
It's
cheaper.
a
Yeah.
little less.
The really cool thing is I when I got close and I realized like, oh wow, this is a thing and I can do this. I actually went and bought nard and
You can buy the nard.
and I did. I bought nard and I actually went, and I'm not even sure if I was allowed to do this, but I was able to like pour nard on the rock of the anointing, and I had this like beautiful, profound moment of prayer with like praying
Brett,
of
in
Mary
your
Bethany.
experience, how would you give the thumbs up or down to whether or not she was allowed to do that?
Well, it's a conflicting answer. In one way, I'm proud of her for doing it, but from the church's perspective, no, I don't think you were supposed to do that. No,
it was one of my best moments.
I don't
only
want
say that because I get in trouble for walking in church of the Holy Sepulchre wearing a priest stole. So if they're upset about that,
You can't just break perfume and pour it on the slab.
Okay. I just want to point out. Everyone was like rubbing things
Everyone
on
loved
the
it.
If you're
slab.
gonna say that everyone poured perfume on the slab, I now I know I'm right. That's not
It
what
wasn't perfume. I bought nard. I bought
Actual
real
nard.
nard.
We're messing with you. As long as
I
you got
know.
away
It
with
was
it.
honestly like it was one of the most profound moments, and it
Wow.
was really beautiful. So maybe it was illegal, but Jesus really spoke, and it was like a beautiful moment of my trip. The end.
Mari Pablo is our guest here on the Busted Halo Show. We're talking about how she is now 11 months into her 33rd year. So her Jesus year. She turned 33 last July. Now, I'm thinking that with something like this, it sounds like obviously you've been paying attention to this. You've been checking off your list. But like any of us, I'm guessing that now that you only got a month left, there's probably a few more things and you're worried that you're going to get them all done.
Oh no, I will get them done, but I do
So what's
have
still left.
Well, I need to go rock climbing, and because
course.
Peter was the rock,
With a guy named
there's
Peter,
a rock,
right?
Oh, Peter. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
and I need to go into an escape room so I can walk through walls. And my last day of my Jesus year, so July 28th, I'm throwing a Last Supper meal and inviting 12 of my friends to break bread and have wine.
Nice.
Well, who's gonna be cast as Judas?
You know,
You can't play it all out like he did. It's gonna get dicey there at the
I'm
end.
not gonna pin it out. It's all symbolic.
Oh, I see. All right.
And then I'm getting ready. I'm calling 34 my resurrection year.
Oh, great.
So I don't know. I'm gonna like come out of a tomb or something. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
I
kidding.
was gonna say next year, like, are you like, well, now shoot, he didn't make it to 34. I don't really know.
I
what I'm
know.
supposed
I
to do
know.
now.
I know.
Feel guilty.
I honestly like
Yeah,
after
right.
33, I feel like nothing's gonna match. Like 33 has been so epic and so incredible. Like I don't even know.
Well, I definitely love that it's made you maximize this year. I mean,
Oh, it has.
I love to do that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I
You talked
don't
about
think I would have made
some-
all these connections, but it has given you the creativity to connect all of it. You know.
And like now some of my friends are like, oh man, I'm gonna throw a Jesus party, and I'm like, yes, please. So it's kind of cool, and they're getting, I don't know, it got them creative. I mean, I had so many pigs at my party from like when Jesus put the demons into swine, and like all these things of it inspired people to dive. Like one of my cousins was like, I have no idea what to wear for your party. I was like, open the Gospels and get inspired.
Like, what do I gotta do? All the
So,
work for you? Come
yeah,
on.
I had family members that were not very religious, and this was a fun way to really introduce the gospel to them, and for them to be like, wait, why are they dressed like that? And I'm like, well, that's from this story, and that's from this story, and
Nice.
it's like a silly thing, but it really ended up being a beautiful form of evangelization. And everyone
does-
walked out with like, what were Jesus do bracelets? And
Well, given
you
that,
know?
given the whole pass it on dimension of this, it sounds like you might need to kind of create a how to do your Jesus year website or something, give people ideas.
if on my Instagram, I have a story, and by the end, I'm gonna put all my list of 33 things, and I'm gonna do like a whole thing about it. So trying to inspire the next
Before we
generation
let
of
you go, give us
33
one
years.
more fun 33 thing you did.
Oh, well, let me see. Hold on. Okay, one thing I have to do is I have to go on the beach and find someone that has a metal detector so I can find the lost coin. Oh, I went camping, like real camping, like in a tent, like I slept on the ground, like real camping. I know
Why
that might not sound
we
like
know
a
what
lot for
camping is.
people,
Why is that
because
so?
I've never gone camping in my life.
You
Like,
also
what is-
burned through that lost coin story real fast. If we could.
She wants to find some guy on the beach with a metal detector.
And just let me borrow it for like a few minutes so I can find the lost coin and I'll give it back to you.
He's trying to make back what he spent on that thing in nickels.
You have to
Keep
split what
it.
you
I
find
just
with the
need
guy.
to find
Yeah,
something.
he's going to want a piece of it. All right, for more of these details, we'll put a link on our radio blog so you can check out if after these 20 minutes you're not inspired to go follow Mari on her socials and everywhere else, then
Mari Pablo 25, maripablo.com. Join me on my Jesus year.
only a month left. You got lots to do.
I'm so
great to have
sad.
you with us as always. Let's don't be a stranger. Don't make it a year. We can check in with you.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.